start recording. Okay. So create a new project, and in that project, just give the name. Suppose I'm giving the name as seventh or 9:30. Okay, and the interpreter I'm selecting as a Python 3.8. So as we have discussed earlier, it create the virtual environment. Okay, so whatever the library that you have installed for the previous project, that is not applicable for the new project. You have to install the new library for the every new projects here. That is the actually job of the virtual environment. So it is creating the new virtual environment. After creating the virtual environment, yeah, you can see here libraries, all the libraries get installed here, and now a project has been created. Okay, now we need to create here one Python file. So right click on it and new Python file, and just give the name, I suppose class example dot or class example, and automatically the file name is a class example.py. Okay. Okay, so before starting the the inheritance, let me show you one special use of the class members. Okay, so here I'm creating one class. The class name is suppose ABC. Okay, so just take it simple, ABC, and then colon. Okay, and suppose it is having some definition. Suppose definition display, having some definition display, and it is printing the in display function. Okay, so why I'm writing here the display printf function, because whenever I call this display function, this in display function should be printed. Okay, now suppose I'm writing the one more definition show. Okay, but in this definition actually I'm not putting the self there, I'm putting the self. So what is the difference between putting the self in the function, and if the function is not having the self, then what is the difference we'll see here. So in show function, okay, so here I am created the class having the two definition, display and the show. Okay, now I'm creating the object of this class. So how to create object of the class? Suppose a1 is equal to abc. Okay, so this is created the object of the class here. Now I'm trying to calling the display function and the show function here. So let me try, because it is a IDE, it will directly show when I type the dot here, it will show that which functions are accessible here. So you can see here the display function is accessible. So display function is accessible. So let me run this program and show you what is the output. So when I run this program, it will show the output as in display function. Okay, and if I'm trying to call the show function here, I'm trying to call the show function, and again if I'm trying to run this program, then it is gives the error. It give error. Getting this? Why? Because shows takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. So why? Because when you call the function using the object, when you call the function using the object, the one parameter you are passing actually 0 argument here, but actually one argument is passed here. And what is that argument? The argument is the address of that object. Address of the object is automatically passed, and that address of the object is taken in a self reference. Okay, so self is pointing to the address of the object. So it is perfectly fine when you are using a.display. So you are calling the display function using the address of the object. So you are taking the address of object. So you are giving the one argument here and you are taking the one argument here. But here when you are trying to call this show function using the object, then what happened? Now you are calling the show function using the object. It means that you are passing the address of the object and here, but you are not collecting here address of object. So it gives the error that show takes 0 positional argument, but one was given. Okay, one was given, and what is that one? It is the address of that particular object. So what is my correction? The correction is i I should give here self. Otherwise, if I'm not, if I don't want to give here self, then instead of calling the show function using the object, just call the function by using the class name. Okay, by using the class name. When you are calling the function using the class name, it means that the address of the object is not passed because there is no object here. You're directly calling the function using the class name. So show is inside ABC. It is directly given here, and let me run this program. So it's perfectly fine and your program is perfectly running here. So firstly, a1.display in display function will be given. It is printed, and the show function you are calling using the class name, and in show function this is get printed successfully. So getting this? So are you getting this? Why it is very important to give the self here? If you are giving the self as a first parameter of your class definition, class function, then class member function, then you can call that function using the object. Okay, so if the self is there, you can call that function using the object name. But if the self is not there, you cannot call by using the object name. You just need to use the class name. So you can see here, you can say here, this is the object function. This is the object function, or this function is related to the object, and this is the class function. Class function. So it means that it is related to the class only. It is not related to the object. Getting this? So it means that if I am creating one variable self.x is equal to 10, then can I able to print this x here? Can I able to print x? Any one of you, can you tell me? Just think 2 minutes and tell me, if I have declared the x here in a display function, and can I able to print x? Yes, can I able to print x? I'm calling the show function using the ABC. Can I able to print x? Aswita says yes, Harshita says no. Okay, no is the correct answer, because when I run this code, actually it gives the error. And what is that error? Name x is not defined. Actually you have defined the x. You have defined the x, but it shows the error that x is not defined. Why x is not defined? Because when you are calling the display function, the x is defined, but it is defined in an object. It is defined in an object. So x is related to the object. Okay, but show function is not related to the object, it is related to the class. So in a show function, you can use only the class related data members or the data functions. Okay, class related only you can use it. Okay, so that's why x cannot be accessed here, because x is related to the object. If you want to use this x, then you have to create one variable which is related to the class, Now X is related to the class because it is a member of the class directly. It is a member of the class directly. Okay, so actually we cannot define the X here. It should be defined in a function only. Okay, so if it is let me show you the same example here. Suppose there is one function called as a suppose uh, disp. Okay, disp is the function which is related to the class. Okay, and if I'm printing here in disp function. Okay, so can I call the disp function here? Disp function. Can I call disp function? When I run this program, it should be abc abc.disp. Then it should run it. Okay, so you can call this disp function. You can call the disp function in a class function only, because this disp function is a class function. It is related to the class. But when you are trying to call this disp function in the object function, then actually you cannot do this, because it is class related operation. It is class related operation. So disp takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given here. Getting this? Yes. So the class related operation that you have written in your class, so that is accessible through the function which is only related to the class. And if the function is taking, if your function is taking the one argument, that is your self argument, then it is means that it is related to the object, it is not related to the class. Getting? So if you want to use the disp function, then using the object, if you are calling the disp function, then it is not accessible. But if you want to access the disp function, then you should access it by using the class name. Actually, this is the same concept is available in your Java also and in your C++ also. The same concept, if you want to implement in C++ or Java, then you have to make that function as a static function. If you are making the function as a static function, then that function is related to the class only. Okay, if it is related to the class, then it means that if you want to access that function, you have to use the class name only. Okay, using the object you cannot access the static function. The same concept is implemented in Python only by not giving the self-referential pointer while declaring the class. Yes, getting this? Yeah, Indrajit say abc.display works in, actually abc.display is also not working. Why? Because when you are using abc.display, it means that you are calling a function using the class name. Using the class name, it means that it is not taking a single argument. But here you have your display is taking a one argument. Okay. So when you run this program, then it gives the error. Okay, it gives error. It gives error. A1.display. Getting? Here also it gives the error a1.display. Okay, so class related functions, if you want to implement, then only the class related operation you can perform in it. The object related operation, if you want to do, then actually you have to design, you have to write a function which is taking a self referential pointer. Yes, getting this? Everyone getting this? Now next point we will see as a operator overloading. Okay, we'll see as a operator overloading. Okay, so for before starting the operator overloading. Okay, before starting the inheritance, we'll start the operator overloading because it is a very small topic. Uh, C++ supports operator overloading. The meaning of operator overloading is the some existing operator is there, and if you want to apply that operator on a user defined object, then you can overload that object and you can give the special meaning to that operator. Okay, for example, plus operator is there, and suppose there are two objects are there, and if you want to apply the two object, if you want to apply the plus operator to that two object, then what operation should be performed when you are doing that addition. For example, there is a two objects a1 and a2. So if you want to do this operation, a3 is equal to a1 plus a2, but a1 plus a2, what is the meaning of a1 plus a2? That has to be defined by using the operator overloading. Okay, because how what is the addition operation for your object, your Python doesn't know. Okay, that's why you have to write it. For example, we'll take one class, we will take one example. Suppose my complex. Okay, so there is a complex number, we know that complex number. So what is a complex number? The complex number is nothing but it contains the real part and the imaginary part. Okay, it contains the real part and imaginary part. So if you want to add the two complex number, then what process has to be followed? We know that here addition of two complex number means a real part is added with the real and the imaginary part is the added with the imaginary. Okay, so we know this, but the computer don't know. Computer don't know what is complex number. This is our actually our assumption, that is complex number. So that's why if you want to store your complex number into your computer, then you have to define the class for storing the complex number. Okay, so here I'm defining the class my complex. So I'm writing here the first, I'm writing here the constructor which is taking the two argument, as a first argument as a real and the second argument as a imaginary part. Okay, so I have given the default arguments here. If this argument is not passed, then it is taken as 0. Okay, now self dot real is equal to r. Okay, and self dot imaginary is equal to I. Okay, so whatever when you are creating the object, whatever the values that you have passed, that is set as a real and imaginary part of your my complex. Okay, so you have done the object creation or the initialization. Now you want to add the definition, you want to add the definition, but before adding the for the definition of the addition, I'm writing the display function. Okay, display function. So when you are calling the display function of my complex class, it should display the real part as well as the imaginary part. So real part is self dot real comma and this self dot imaginary. Okay, so this is a display function. Now after writing the display function, let me first create the one object. Suppose a1 object, a1 object, a1 is equal to my complex, and I'm defining the real as a 3 and the imaginary as a 5. Okay, and let's check that display is working or not. Okay, so let's run this program and let me check your output is 3 plus 5. Okay, yes, 3 5. So you can give here 3 plus comma 5 comma I. Okay, so 3 3 comma 5, and here 3 plus comma and the 5 I. Okay, so why I have done this, because when you run this program you will get output like this, 3 plus 5 I. Okay, so now next one is operator overloading. In operator overloading we will try to write the one definition which is used to add the two complex number. For example, there are the two complex number a1 and a2. So a2 is suppose 5 comma 7. Okay, so when you add this number, like a3 is equal to a1 plus a2, a1 plus a2, and if you are displaying this a3, then it should print 8 plus 12i, 8 plus 12i. Now try to run this program, it will give the error unsupported operand plus, because your compiler doesn't know that how you have to apply, how they have to apply the plus operator on these two objects, because these objects are the user defined object. Computer doesn't know what is the actually meaning of a real and imaginary, so we have to define it. So we have to write down one function which are used for the operator overloading. Okay, so the function is definition underscore underscore add underscore underscore add underscore underscore. Okay, and self and other. Okay, so this is the function to be called when you are performing this type of the operation. So when you are performing plus operation, then add function is called. When you are performing the minus operation, then the sub function will be called here. Now we are performing the plus operation, so add function we have to override here. Okay, so we are overriding the add function. The other is the reference of the second object. Other is the reference of the second object. Okay, so now tell me, what is it? Add is nothing but addition of the two complex number. Now to store the result, actually we require one object of the complex class. So here I'm creating one result is equal to my complex. Result is equal to my complex. Okay, so which is having the real part as a 0 and the imaginary part as a 0. Now next one is, we know that how to add a two complex number. So real res dot real is equal to, yes, tell me, self dot real plus, now second object is, one object is the one first object. Now a1 and a2, so a1 is pointed by self and the a2 is pointed by other. So if you want to get the real of a1, you are using self dot real, and if you want to get the a2 of real, then you should write here other dot real. Okay, so you got real operation. Now next one is res dot imaginary operation. So it is very similar, like self dot imaginary plus other dot imaginary. Okay, self dot imaginary and the other dot imaginary. Okay, and then now my res is ready. Now return this res directly, return this res. So this is nothing but a1 dot a2. Now this operation is get resolved like this. Okay, this operation is get resolved like this. A3 is equal to a1 dot underscore underscore add underscore underscore, and it is passed as a a2. A2 is the object. So this operation is get resolved at compile time, but at front end you are writing a1 plus a2 here. Getting this? Everyone getting this? Now you have written the add function. Now try to run this program. Your output should be 8 plus 12i. Yes, you are getting the output 8 plus 12i. Why? Because I have overloaded the plus operator here. Similarly, I can overload the subtraction operator. Okay, subtraction operator. So subtraction operator can be overloaded by using the sub. Okay, overriding the sub function. So just I copy this code and paste it here, because subtraction, we know that what is subtraction? Real minus real and imaginary minus imaginary. Okay, so this is my subtraction. Now let's check the subtraction. Now it should be a1 minus a2. So it is 3 minus 5 is minus 2, minus 2 plus, and what is 5 minus 7? 5 minus 7 is minus 2. Minus 2 plus minus 2. Okay, so minus 2 plus minus 2i. This is my result. Yes, getting this? So everyone getting this? Indrajit, Hashmita, Harshita, Sharan Rao, Kiran. So I'm sharing this code. The whole code you can see here in a one window. Okay. So now it is your responsibility now to overload the other operators for this class. I will be only giving you here one scratch file. Okay, so done. Now for addition actually we are using, for plus operation we are using the, we are overloading the underscore underscore add underscore underscore function. For minus we are overloading the underscore underscore sub underscore underscore. For multiplication we are overloading the mul underscore underscore. For division we are overloading the operation as a true division underscore underscore. Then for modulo operator, just note down this, all the function that is used for operator overloading. For modulo operator, the function name is underscore underscore mod underscore underscore. So all others operator, all the operator having the parameter as self comma other. Okay, self comma other. Modulo operator. The next one is the power operator. Power operator, POW underscore underscore. It is having the same arguments. The next one is the double slash operator. You know that it is called as a floor division. So floor div underscore underscore, and again this is the function floor division. Comparison operator also we can overload. Comparison operator, suppose less than operator you want to overload, so the function name is lt underscore underscore. Okay, and self comma others. Then greater than operator also you can overload, so it is a gt, greater than underscore underscore and then self comma other. Then you can overload less than or equal to also. So less than or equal to is underscore underscore less than or equal to le, and this self comma other. So everyone has to note down this operator list. Then greater than or equal to also you can overload by using the ge underscore underscore and self dot other. Then equal to operator also you can overload, so by using the eq function, just overload the eq function. And then not equal to also you can overload not equal to operator, so it is underscore underscore not equal to any. So this type of the operator is also you can overload. You can overload the assignment operator also. Assignment operator you can overload by overriding the ISUB. Okay, ISUB underscore underscore. Okay, so assignment operator can be overloaded by using ISUB. The plus equal to operator also you can overload by overloading the equal to equal underscore underscore I add underscore underscore. Then multiply equal to also operator you can overload by using the imul. Then division equal to operator you can also overload by using the idiv. Okay, the first one is not assignment, is a minus operator. Idiv underscore underscore minus equal to. The next one is the double slash underscore underscore I floor division underscore underscore and again self comma others. And again modulo. Actually, these are all of the shorthand notations. Underscore underscore I mod underscore underscore and this self comma others. And the last one is the double star and equal to operator underscore underscore I pow underscore underscore. So these are the operator that we can overload. Okay. Yeah, Sharan Rao, attribute error. My complex object has no attribute img. Okay, so let check this one self.img. Okay, if this self.img statement is there in your program, then this error will not be there. Self.img, because if the object is having the img field, then this error you will not getting. Check this img field. Indrajit says I floor division and floor division. No, I floor division is different. Floor division operation you can work like this. For example, a1 a3 is equal to a1 double slash a2. Okay, so this is the operation that you can perform here. Okay, and here this I floor division, this is the floor division. Okay, floor division, and I floor division you can apply like this: a3 plus a3 double slash equal to a2. Okay, so this is the floor division, this is the I floor division operator. Attribute error means this attribute is not present in your class. Okay, this if this is not present in the class, for example, a1 and a2. Okay, actually my program is not having any error, and suppose if I'm trying to access one attribute which is not present, suppose a1 dot I is equal to 10. Okay, now this I is not present, in my object, I is not present in my object, so then I will get an attribute error. Getting? Or otherwise, suppose instead of writing here img, I have written im only, then I will give the then it will give the attribute error. You are trying to access the attribute which is not present in your class, then that the attribute error will be raised. Yes, are you getting, Indrajit? What is the difference between the floor division and I floor division? It is shorthand notation actually. The meaning is the a3 is equal to a3 double slash a2. This is the meaning of this shorthand notation. So any doubt in this? So you just give me any operator here. Give me any operator. Let's try to implement that operator. But you should know that what is the actually the meaning of that operator. For example, we'll try to overload the operator using which we can do this type of the operation like a2 plus equal to a1. a2 plus equal to a1. The meaning of this is a2 is equal to a2 plus a1. This is the meaning of this operation. Now when I run this program, actually you will get an error at this 23 line. a2 dot display 8 plus 12. Okay, so actually it is not showing any error, but if suppose if there is the complex class is already there in your Python, so that's why actually it might have added that two complex number. But suppose if there are the two students are there, okay, two students, and if you add the two students, then what is the addition of what is the meaning of addition of two students, that you have to define here, that you have to define. Getting this, if your user defined class and if you want to apply the some operators on your object, then you need to overload that particular operator. Okay, so let's try to implement the remaining operation. For example, define a class matrix. Okay, define a class matrix, and which is having the method as a addition, subtraction, multiplication, transpose, and just try to implement it. Transpose actually not possible because there is no operator like transpose, but addition, multiplication, division, operation you can perform on matrix also. So what is the meaning of matrix addition? What is the meaning of matrix multiplication, 3 by 3 matrix multiplication? You have to give there. Okay, you have to give there. The whatever the code is there, that code is very similar like your C language code. You have to give this code here, and whenever the two objects of that matrix class get added, this code has been called and it returns the object of the result here. Okay, yes. So can I start the new topic? Okay. The new topic, the today's topic is the inheritance. Inheritance. It is a very easiest topic, easy topic in Python. This topic has been more complex in C++. In C++, when you start with the inheritance, actually there are the lots of logics are there, and there are some assumptions are there, and that the all the assumption that is very difficult in C++, that all assumption has been removed in Python. So there is a very straightforward inheritance is there. But before starting the inheritance, can you tell me about more about the inheritance? What done by inheritance? Yes, what do you mean by inheritance? Just type your answers in chat box, chat window. What do you mean by inheritance? Is it reusing the existing class? Reusing the existing class? Yes. Reusing the existing class? Yes. Yes, Vita, very correct. Reusing the existing class means if the already class is there, and suppose you want to rewrite the same class with some new functionality, with the new functionality. The old functionality also that new class contains, but you want to add that new functionality into the new class. The new class is called as a derived class, and the old class or the existing class is called as a base class. So your derived class is having the functionality of old class, as well as you can add the new thing into the derived class also. So you can say it is a modified class. So you are reusing the code which is already written into the base class. That is called as an inheritor. Generally, this has been used if you want to achieve the code reusability. The code is already written, and now you want to reuse that code. You want to reuse the code. Then you, in that case, actually you are using the inheritance. Inheritance is generally used when there is a like a relationship, like a relationship, or is a relationship, like or is a relationship. Suppose there are the two objects, there are two objects. You can use the inheritance in the classes of the two objects. When that two objects you can call as a, it is a like a this. For example, we can take the object, two objects. Example is for example bird. Okay, bird is one of the object or the class, and second one is suppose sparrow. Okay, sparrow. So can I say that sparrow is a bird? Can I say sparrow is a bird? Yes, definitely, because sparrow is a bird. So in that case, actually, I can inherit the bird class into the sparrow class. Okay, so in that case, your bird is a base class and the sparrow is a derived class. So all the features of birds your sparrow is having, and some more functionality. Suppose sparrow can sing a song, okay, like that. Okay, so new functionality also can be added, like for example bird and there, and suppose crow is there. So can I say crow is a bird? Yes, is a relay, or crow is like a bird? Yeah, we can say that. So that in that case, actually, you can say it is a, you can use the inheritor. So always use this type of concept when you want to use the inheritance. Okay. What is the base class you told? Base class. Base class is called existing class. Then declaration of two classes must be done. Yeah. Actually, in inheritance, the two declaration of two classes is must, because you are modifying the existing class. It means that existing class should be there. If the existing class is there, then only you are writing the new class. Then that, in that case only the inheritance. So in inheritance, at least two classes should be written. At least two classes. You can write the more than two classes, but at least two classes should be there. One should be base class and another should be a derived class. Okay, if two distinct classes are declared, then how will it be inheritance? Yeah, if suppose there are two classes, one is a class ABC, second one is class XYZ. Suppose class ABC. Okay, and suppose another class, suppose class XYZ. Okay, now in that case, actually, these are the two distinct classes. So there is no relationship of the ABC and XYZ. Okay, when you create the object of XYZ, so there is no function which is present in ABC, it is being inherited or it is available into the XYZ class. So if there is some relation is there, if there's some relation is there in between these classes, then only you can use inheritance, or then only the inheritance use is preferable. If there is no relationship between the classes, then no need of inheritance. Okay, getting this? For example, we will see the example as a for my one class is there, account class. Okay, account class, but the type of the account is a saving account. Saving account. Okay, now there is some relationship between the saving, because saving account is account, saving account is account. Some common feature, of saving account, or another class I can write as a class current account. Class current account. Okay, so these are the two classes, current account, saving account, that might have some common feature, like your account number. Current account also having account number, saving account also having the account number. Current account is having suppose customer ID, saving account also having the customer ID. Some common features of these accounts I can declare into the class account. For example, here account number. Okay, account number is equal to 0. Okay, and suppose customer ID equal to 0. Okay, suppose this type of the field I can declare in account now. And what I'm doing, I am reusing this account in the saving account and current account. How I can use this account? By inheriting the current account, by inheriting the account class in saving account and the current account. So some function is also there, some functions. Okay, here some definition is also given, some definition also written here, and I can use that definition and the class member directly in saving account, directly in current account. No need to redeclare here, no need to redeclare, because current number and the customer ID is available in saving account as well as it is available in current account also. So I am reducing the code length, I'm reducing the length of my code. Getting this? But if there is no relation is available between the two classes, then how we can use the inheritance there? Only we can use the inheritance if there is a relationship is available, or like a relationship is available for the two existing classes. Getting this, Sharandra? Okay, so there is one more concept called as a containership. Containership. Okay, so in inheritance, actually we are reusing the existing class, so whatever the existing class functions are there, that is ready-madely available into the derived class. Okay, that is inheritor. But what is containership? In a containership, you can say that one existing class is there, so two distinct classes are there, there is no relationship, but in a second class we are using the object of the first class. Okay, in second class we are using the object of the first class. Then in that case you can say that second class object is having the object of first class, so it is a container, there is a container is there, second class object is working as a container where the first class object is having. Just like, for example, suppose class ABC is there, class ABC, and suppose I'm not defining anything, and suppose class XYZ is there, class XYZ, but in the class XYZ, in the definition, for example, init definition, I'm creating the object of ABC. So in that case, you can say that you are using a containership. So in XYZ, there is an object of A1. In XYZ, there is an object of A1. So you can access the method of ABC by using the object. Then in that case, the relationship is has a relationship. It is having the has a relationship. So you can relationship. Okay. So you can say here, what is the relationship between the XYZ and ABC? If the XYZ is having the object of ABC, you can say that here XYZ has a object of ABC. XYZ has an object of ABC. Then you are using a what type of relationship? You are using containership relationship. Getting containership. So XYZ is working as a container where the object is there of class ABC. Getting this? Everyone getting this? So just type yes if you are getting this containership has a relationship and is a relationship. Okay, so you can see that there is actually no direct relationship. There is no direct relationship. Direct relationship means this type of. Now what is the type of the relationship? It is the inheritance. It is the inheritance. So all the existing data members and the member function available in ABCs make available in XYZ if you are using inheritance there. So no need to create the object of ABC here, because when you are creating the object of derived class, the object of base class has been created automatically. Okay, getting this? So what is the inheritance and the containership? So this type of question is generally asked in the MCQs of Python. What code is there? And they are saying that identify the relationship of the above classes, containership relationship or the inheritance type of the relationship. Okay, so here we will take the example of the inheritance first. So we'll write down one class which is suppose my number. Okay, my number is my class which is having the definition as a init and which is having the count variable, which is having the one count variable which is initialized with the 0. There is one definition display which is displaying the count, count is equal to what is, where is count? Count is present in object self dot count. Okay, so this my number is having the two methods. First is the constructor, second one is your display function. So S is more. Okay, so it is a display function. I'm defining one more function as a increment INCR. Okay, INCR. When the INCR function is get called, the count is incremented by 1. Count is equal to count plus 1. Count is incremented by count plus 1. But how to access this count? Count can be accessed by using self dot count. Okay. Now this is my one class already written. Now I want to modify this class. I want to write the decrement function also. So is it, can I do directly here decrement? Yes, you can definitely do. You can definitely add the function decrement here. But if you are adding the function into the existing class, it might affect the another implementation. Okay, or it might affect the your project. That is, if this class is get modified, your project might get affected, because in some cases actually this class, if the class is modified, then the project should not be modified. If it is modified, then it affect the your last output. So by without affecting this class, can I modify the class? Without affecting the existing class, can I modify the class? Definitely you can modify by inheriting this class. So my new number. Okay, so I'm writing my class as a new number. I'm inheriting it by using the my number. Okay, so now I'm writing the its init function. Now when you are creating the object of new number, this should be called here. Okay, the init function of the base class should be called. Now how to call the init function of base class from the derived class? Now you are in a derived class and you want to call the constructor of the base class. So how you can call? So you can call it by using the super function. Okay, so use this method super and then bracket and then dot and then underscore underscore. Super represent you are calling the function of the base class, super class. Super class is called as a base class. Okay, so super class constructor you are calling here. So this function is get called when the object of new number is get created. So when this function get called, the constructor of the base class is also called and the count has been created with the value 0. Okay, now this new number is having the display as well as INCR because it is you are inherited. This you are inherited, so it means that display is ready-madely available, INCR is also ready-madely available. Now just I need to modify that existing class by writing the new definition. This is DECR. Okay, and what is my decrement? My decrement is self, not you can use here self dot count, because why here actually this new number is not having the count, but also you can use the count. Why? Because count is inherited from the my number. Count is inherited from the my number, that's why you can directly use it. So self dot count is equal to self dot count minus 1. So it is decrement. So now what are the function this new number is having? The new number is having the DECR, it is own function, INCR which is inherited from the my number class, and display function which is inherited from the my number class. So new number is having the 3 functions, totally 3 functions. Yeah, Sharon, okay, can you explain super? Okay, super is the function by using which you can call the base class or the super class function, super class functions. That is, super class is having now 3 functions: init, display, and INCR, out of which I want to call the constructor of the base class. So the name of the constructor is underscore underscore init. So that's why using the super, I'm calling this init function. If I want to call the display function, you can call by using the super dot display. Okay, suppose if display is already there in new number, but you want to call the base function display, then you are using the super display. Super is nothing but you are calling the function of super class. Getting, Sharan Rao? Now I'm creating the object of the new number. Okay, so object of new number I'm creating as n1 is equal to new number. N1 is equal to new number. Okay, so can I call here INCR? Can I call INCR? Because INCR is not present in new number. So can I able to call INCR here? Definitely you can call. Though that INCR function is not available in the new number, but it is taken from its base class. In its base class, actually INCR is available. So that's why you can call the INCR function. Can I call display function? Definitely you can call, because display is inherited from the base class. Getting? So when I run this code, you will get the output as 1 because you have incremented by one time only. If I am directly calling the display function without incrementing, it is printing the 0 directly. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm calling the display function INCR function multiple times. INCR 3 times. So now here count is 1, count is 2, and count is 3. When I call the display, it should print the count is equal to 3. And then I'm calling the DECR function, DECR n1 dot DECR function, and then I'm calling the display function. When I call the display function, your output should be Now here 1, here 2, here 3. So 3 will be get display. Now DSCR means from 3 it becomes 2, from 2 it become 1. So here when you second time when you call display function, your count is equal to 1. So let's run this program. So you can see here 3 times increment and 2 times decrement. So count is equal to 1 here. Yes. So are you getting this? How to write the inherit, how to write the base class and the derived class, and whatever the function is available into the base class is made available in a derived class directly. Just you need to call the constructor of the base class from the constructor of the derived class. It is compulsory. If you are not calling, then it will give error. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so in a default constructor, of the derived class, I'm not calling the base class constructor. I have commented this, and let's try to run this program. When you are trying to run this program, there is an error. New number object is not having any attribute count. Why this is error? Because the count has been declared in init function, and you have not called that init function. If you are not calling the init function, then that count variable is not there in my number. If it's not there in my number, then new number is not having the count variable. Getting it? That's why now it is make compulsory that if some variable declaration is there in the init function, then from derived class constructor it becomes compulsory to call the base class constructor. Okay, from derived class constructor it becomes compulsory to call the base class constructor. If you are not calling, the initialization of the base class is not done. Yes. So can I print the count directly? N1 dot count. Can I access count directly? Can you tell me? Instead of calling display function, I'm using directly N1 dot count. Yes, definitely, because when you're initializing, it is 0, and now you can directly print N1 dot count, because here count is a public. Count is public. If it is public, then you can't you can directly use it. Public variable, you can access it from anywhere. But when I make this as a private, I have make this count as a private variable. Can I able to access it? Yes, your this count is also accessible, because it is not a strictly private. It is only suggestion. Underscore, single underscore means that it is the suggestion that it is a private member, and the private member should be only used in the class only. Okay, but instead of using single underscore, now I am making as a double underscore. I'm making as a double underscore. So now can I able to access that count variable here? Run it again. Now the new number object has no attribute like count. Why? Because now count variable is a private member of this class only. If it is private member of the class, it is not inherited in the derived class. So remember that if you don't want to inherit a number, then use the double underscore in front of it. Then that variable or that function is only accessible within that class, that is not available into the, that is also not available into the derived class. If you are using n1 dot decr, n1 dot decr, and when you are trying to run this, then also it gives the error. Okay, because new number member is not having the no attribute as a underscore count, underscore count, because it is not inheriting. Okay, it is not inheriting, but you can call the display function. You can call display function. Okay, you can call the display function. Okay, so where it is, print self underscore, yeah, it should be on double underscore. You can call the display function. You can call it because display function is public. Now if you make this display function as a private, then now there is a error. There is error. New member object is not having the attribute display function, because now display function and the count variable is only private to this class. These members are not available to the derived class. If it is not available to derived class, the derived class cannot access it. Yes, getting this? So by making the function as a private, you can restrict that function to inherit into the derived class. Yeah, why generally we are using this? Because the access specifier that we have learned in the C++ or Java, like public, private, protected. Okay, this access specifier is not available in Python. So how to do the access where access restriction? You can do the access restriction by using the double underscore. Okay, double underscore. Getting this? Okay, so everyone getting this point? Accessibility, private accessibility, public accessibility. Yes. Okay. Now there is a function called as a is instance. Is instance. Is instance. Okay. Is instance function is generally used to check whether an object, given object, is an instance of a given class. First argument is the object, second argument is the class. For example, okay, I want to check that n1 object is an instance of new number class. I want to check that n1 object is a instance of the new number class. Instance means it is an object of, it is an object of new number. Because when there is a, suppose your program is very big, and suppose this object is there and you don't know that what is the type of that object. Now you want to check that this object is a type of this object, then you can use is instance function. That is true, it is true. Okay, and if I'm using here my number, if I'm using my number, okay, my number is instance n1 comma my number. Is it a kind of my number? Is it a kind of my number? N1 is a kind of my number. Yes, it is a kind of my, because there is a relationship is available. A relationship is available. Suppose if I'm writing one class XYZ classes, I'm writing one XYZ class, and I want to check here. Now there is no relationship, no relationship from for the N1 and XYZ. Okay, no relationship. So, and I want to check here, n1 is an instance of xyz. Now if I run this code, then you will get an output as a false, output as false. Getting this? Because xyz and n1 is not having any relation. Okay, it is not an instance of xyz. Yes, getting this? Now there is a one more very important function to check that, uh, we have the two class names and we want to check that, we want to check a relationship of that two classes, relationship of the two classes. For example, one class name I know that new number, and I want to check that what is the relationship of the my number and new number. So is new number is a subclass of my number, is new number is subclass of my number, I want to check here. If it is a subclass of my number, then it will print true, it will print true. So I am running this, so it print the true here, you can check here, it print the true, because new number and my number is a, actually it is subclass. But here instead of my number I am using xyz. Is new number is a subclass of xyz class? If I run this, it will give the output as a false, because there is no relationship of the new number and xyz. Yeah, getting this? So you can write here, it is used to check whether an object n1, whether an object n1, whether an object n1 is an instance of class xyz, and here it is used to check whether class new number has been derived from xyz. If it is derived from xyz, then it returns true. If it is not derived from xyz, it returns false. Yes, so these two functions are again very important related to your aptitude point of view. Yes, any doubt? If you have any doubts, let me know. No doubt. Now the last one is the abstract class. What is an abstract class? Abstract class actually is the class in which there is no function having the full definition. If there is a if there is, you have written one function, suppose you have written one function, show function. Okay, you have written the show function and you are not given the implementation. If you are not given the implementation in that xyz class, now you can say that here xyz is a abstract, xyz is a abstract beta, abstract class, it is an abstract class, and the show function is an abstract function, show function is abstract function. Getting this? So abstract class is called the class is called as abstract class if it is having at least one abstract function. It is having at least one abstract function. And what is an abstract function? The abstract function is the function which is not implemented. Implemented means it is having only pass. Getting? So if there is an abstract function is there, if the class is having abstract function, and if you are inheriting that class, if you are inheriting the class, suppose you are inheriting the xyz class in a abc class, now it becomes compulsory to modify this show function. If you are not modifying this show function in the definition of abc class, then your compiler give error. Now it become compulsory to write down the show function here. Okay, so just give some definition in abc. Okay, and when you create the object of this abc, When you create the object of ABC, now there is no error. But if you are creating the object of ABC without defining the show function, then it gives the error. It is very similar concept which is available in your C++ and Java. Abstract method. Okay. In a Java, it is called as a interface. It is called as an interface. Abstract, fully abstract class is called as an interface in Java. Here there is no interface, but there is an abstract class having the one of the at least one definition, not having the full implementation. Getting this? Yeah. So suppose what is the use of this abstract function? Suppose you want that this function has to be implemented by the classes which are implemented using the XYZ class. So whatever the classes that you are created newly by using the XYZ class, every class should implement the show function. Then in that case, you are using this technique. You are writing the function and you are not implementing it. So this is called the abstract method. That is the use of it. Getting? So compulsory the derived class should implement this function, show function. Yeah. So any doubt in this abstract method? And this is called as a abstract class. Okay. So today actually we'll complete this session. So any doubt if you have, I will give you 5 minutes. Ask me the doubts. Today we have completed the inheritance. So now only 2 topics are remaining from the Python, and that topics are the file handling and the exception handling. How to handle the exception and how to handle the file handling, that is how to open a file, how to close the file, how to write the data into the file, how to read the data from the file. That actually we will getting into it. And suppose if there is some exception is there, suppose one error is there, runtime error is occurred, then how to handle the runtime error. Okay, so that's called the exception handling. We'll see in the next sessions. So if you have any doubts in this topic, like your class object or inheritance, then let me know. I will be solving your doubts. Otherwise, if you don't have any doubt, just type no doubts so that we can end today's meeting. Yes.